Hello, and welcome to the Needs Languages Parenting modules. There are 6 modules. This is lesson 1. This is the introduction to why it is vital to know who we are. So let's begin. Why is it vital to know yourself? You may be wondering why I would ask this question in a parenting lesson. The reason is if we as parents don't know ourselves and don't have skills in communicating our needs, how can we help our children discover their needs and teach them theirs? Has your kid ever asked why questions and you didn't know how to answer them? What if you were in the middle of something and couldn't answer them? Why questions can be challenging to navigate. Yet asking why can be vital to growing and learning. Why do people ask why? Knowing your why is vital because it is asking a question to get the information that can lead you to the answers you are searching for. When you know yourself, you can then know how to effectively communicate your needs. When you discover your identity, you have the opportunity to learn another person's identity. This gives yourself and the others voice in creating a healthy community. Knowing the why about yourself gives you this information. If you don't know who you are, how can you expect your kids to know who they are? If you can't communicate your needs skillfully, how can you teach your kids to skillfully communicate their needs? We first have to discover ourselves and what our needs are before we can help our kids discover themselves. It is understanding why we do the things we do. When we understand what our needs are and how we process the world, we can learn how to skillfully communicate our needs. Do you know the ham story? Well, here's the ham story. Why do you cut the ends off of the ham when you bake it? Because it tastes better, was the reply. The story was taught for 2 generations, but it wasn't the real reason as to why the ends were cut off. The real reason was because it was how the ham fit in the oven. Not knowing the real why we do what we do can create a myriad of issues. It can lead to patterns we are not aware of or don't understand, like the ham story above, which left off probably good pieces of ham, although I would not know because I'm kosher. So, but that's just an example. It can even cause confusion. What if a kid, what if as a kid you are told the way you process the world isn't okay? It is telling you your needs are not good, or the way you belong isn't okay, isn't good. What do you think's going to happen? What you think you fit in the oven? Do you think you'll fit in the oven like the ham? You think you're going to struggle like the ham story? Being told you are supposed to be a certain way can lead to unrealistic expectations, confusion, self hatred, and more. This is one of the reasons why we are having so many struggles in our world, and it gets passed down like the ham story, trying to fit it in an oven that can't fit a ham that doesn't need the ends cut off any longer to fit. I like this quote from F. Douglas. It is easier to build strong children than to repair broken adults. I like to ask a lot of questions in my life and in my classes. If you want positive answers to your questions, ask positive questions. Here are some questions to reflect on, and this will be in the workbook. I'm curious why I have the patterns I have. Why am I drawn to certain people as my friends? Who am I similar to? Who are my kids similar to? If I don't like my kids, or a particular one of my kids, why? Now, this doesn't mean you don't love your kids. Liking and loving can be 2 different aspects. You can love your kid, but not connect with or like them. And we're going to discuss this later. And it's okay to be aware of this. and start to work on that aspect. If I really like my kid, why do I like them? Why do I like one kid more than another? Now, we're going to talk about this and explain this regarding personality types. We'll look over several of these questions explaining parent and child relationships in later lessons. What do I like about myself? What experiences do I want more of? What experiences do I want less of? How can I connect better with my kids? Are there other questions you have about personality communication style? I use this method of questioning to discover the things I want to embrace or discard in my life. When we become more aware by listening to ourselves and others, we can become more balanced in our personality and be able to embrace the self and others. We can come at life from a discovery perspective rather than making people conform to what the self feels or believes as things should be. Here are some reasons why it is vital to know yourself. When you know yourself, you can give yourself what you need and learn skills how to communicate effectively. When you know yourself, it is easier to accept yourself. When you know yourself, you can work through the challenges easier because of self awareness. When you know yourself, you can create healthy belonging. All these combined and more are vital reasons why it is crucial to know your personality communication type and how to navigate others as well. This is what creates or builds healthy communities. When we have healthy communities, we can then assist in teaching our kids how to navigate the world. I cover this more in my compilation book titled, and the chapter's titled Free Range Belonging. We all struggle with doubting ourselves, especially when it comes to raising our kids. Here are some more questions to ponder. So, I want to let you know where I cover more about healthy communities and free range belonging. That is my big book on, and I will include what book that is and in the parenting at the end of the workbook, and there will be a link where you can find it on Amazon, and you can buy that book as well. The World in Us: How Personalities Connect and Communicate is the title of the book. So we all struggle with doubting ourselves, especially when it comes to raising our kids. Here are some questions to ponder. What are some blockages to accepting yourself? What are some things that you can see that are amazing about you that could help you accept yourself? Can you list 5 ways that you can be more accepting of yourself? Where are some areas you doubt yourself in parenting? If there's another way you can find skills to improve your parenting, so you don't, where is another way that you could find skills to improve yourself in parenting so you wouldn't doubt yourself? What are some things you could do? I don't think I can because what if you could? When we know ourselves, we feel more confident. Doing this next exercise can help with self doubt. I want you to list 5 things that you're good at. Here are some more questions to ask yourself. What are some good decisions that you have made in your life? And what are some things that have happened because of that? What are some ways you enjoy expressing yourself, like singing, photography, or travel? What are some activities you and your kids enjoy doing together? Why do you think you enjoy doing those activities together? What are some things that you have learned in this lesson that can be helpful in regards to parenting? When you know and accept yourself, you fall more in love with yourself. You become more understanding of yourself and others, including your children. You are more likely to accept the differences of others instead of trying to get them to conform to your ideas. Here is a quote from John Holt that is a powerful one to think on. Trust children. Nothing could be more simple or more difficult. Difficult because to trust children, we must first learn to trust ourselves. And most of us were taught as children that we could not be trusted. That's very powerful. When we know who we are, we can then find ways to tune ourselves. It is like knowing what kind of car you have. When you know what kind of car you have, you will know what kind of parts you need for that car. You probably aren't going to put a Ford transmission in a Honda Civic. It's just not going to work. That is the same with knowing yourself. When you know yourself, you will know what kind of transmission you need. When you need to change your fluids and so forth. It goes the same for your kids. If your kids are a Tesla, you aren't going to put Volkswagen parts in them. I have included a few articles at the end of this lesson for you to read regarding your subconscious mind and some reasons why knowing yourself is significant. Remember, do your homework. It will help you on your journey. And please finish answering the questions. You can do that throughout the whole 6 lessons. You don't have to do it right now. I can't wait till we meet again next time. So next time we're going to be discussing the individual needs of the needs languages. So until next time, be well, be safe, be happy.